Welcome to the latest edition of Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. A special time tonight, thanks to Lou Blasi for making that happen. How are you tonight, Lou?
I'm doing well.
One time only. We appreciate it, Lou. Bill, you had an open house at the school.
Work open house.
Yeah, work open house for Bill.
That was fun.
Honestly,
good times.
It was a really, really good time.
Was it?
To meet the parents.
Ton of parents showed up. Staff was great. People worked really hard to get the building up and ready. A little bit extra, but it was awesome.
Yep.
I just came from and walked in about 2 minutes before. Just came from player evaluations for the 9 and 10-year-old Methuen Youth Basketball Association.
Nice.
That was a unique experience. That was fun. Essentially looking at all the kids in the 3rd and 4th grade that are playing.
Any 8-year-olds cross you over?
No, I did not get my knees broken by any 8-year-olds. No.
That's because you didn't get on the court.
I was ready.
Okay.
I was on the court. I was doing side to sides. They don't call them the wrong word anymore. Back in the day it was not a good word, and it was very interesting. It was there's probably about 90, 95, 100 kids coming out for the 9 and 10 age group, and you basically had 10 coaches,
Nice.
circling 4 different stations, kind of grading the kids, and there's going to be a draft next week.
Yeah.
Like a fantasy draft.
Do you feel prepared?
It's the only way to do it fairly, though.
It is. I'm not denigrating it by any means. It was so unique in terms of just like what I go through for fantasy football.
Yeah.
It was like the same thing all over again, except I have no scouting report on any of these kids.
But I'll say this:
that Bill was supposed to give me, by the way.
Uh-oh.
No. I'm the director of travel, so I have to be completely
impartial.
Out of it, impartial. I mean, you have no idea. Even remember Amanda last season?
Yeah.
She's the travel director for soccer. The amount of people that no longer will speak to you. No, Lou, it's not. I'm not even like it's. People get very upset,
Yep.
and the amount of money and assistance you ask of impartial people. Even then, there's a level of the fix is in, and it's really, really hard.
There's a level of infiltration by the negative forces. I actually had a really good conversation, which I think could lead us to a show down the road, maybe between seasons, or I had a great conversation with Amanda about just what you guys go through with the parents.
Yeah. And,
as positive as we try to be about the youth sports experience, there is a downside to it. And it is increasing, unfortunately, as we get more and more into travel sports being more and more lucrative, and parents feeling like
Right.
like their kids are scoring scholarships in the 5th grade.
just be careful with lucrative, because I don't know one of the in-town leagues that is lucrative. I know the AAU.
When I say lucrative, the travel, the
Right.
youth sports industry is a
good point.
$50 billion
good
industry
point.
now.
Good point.
You have, and I've said this to folks around town. I mean, you have municipalities, counties, angling to build these gigantic complexes that draw these tournaments that make
Right.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, we're not seeing that on the local level. Obviously,
But we are. I mean, that's something Matt Curran is doing. That's something having the stadium.
We're drawing more. We're drawing those
cheering competition.
Yeah.
Last year at the high school, we had dance competitions 4 weekends in a row. That's how the boosters made about $6,000 last year. That was unexpected sales and revenue.
Yep.
That turned around, going back to the athletes. Where I just got a text from Matt about a cheering competition. We're going to be hosting the semis of the volleyball. I think the semis of volleyball. But that's all revenue for the school, for the boosters, for the concession, things like that. That's where people need to step up and volunteer.
I saw good stuff tonight. Okay, I have been sullied on the youth sports experience with my oldest son when he was playing before he got sick. Great athlete, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, you name it. And we got to a point. I was coaching him in basketball. I think this was right around 9-10, and we got to a point. He was my point guard. I mean, he just knew he was the field general. Defense, offense. He saw the court. Smart kid. So I'm partial. So
how could he not be?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So no, it's not smart arse. So he came up to me after probably maybe the 10th game of the season, maybe like an 18-game season, and he was like, "I don't want to do this anymore." He's like, I love playing, but like hearing the parents in the crowd, hearing the way they yell at the kids, they yell at the referees. I don't. When we're done with this season, I don't want to do it anymore.
I've told you I was a top-level USA hockey official for about 10 years, and I was let out of the arena by a police escort at least once a year.
Yeah.
Every game was the 7th game in the Stanley Cup, and the lower levels were the worst.
And Lou, I apologize that night.
Yeah, I got very upset. He beat me to it, the bugger.
I felt like he should have given me the penalty kick.
He beat me to it. Well played. He is the burglar that now works for the FBI.
Yeah.
He is the reformed parent who's been on both sides of the equation.
My favorite story, though, I gave a kid a zero-tolerance penalty. I didn't know that what it was for, and there's 4 of us officials in a room, and there's a knock on the door, and it's like, "Hello?" And it's a woman's voice. "Can I come in?" I looked around the room. There's 4 of us. We're pretty tough guys. We figured we could take her if there was a problem. She came in. It was her kid who got the zero-tolerance penalty, and she looked at me and goes, "What did he say to you? I just want to know whether to give him dinner or not."
Good for her.
Yeah. I was really surprised by it.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
There is hope for humanity.
Yeah.
So, Amanda was telling me just about what they go through, and she was telling me about this website called Offsides. Have you heard about this? Mm-mm. This guy, basically, he pays parents to send in videos of obnoxious parents. He pays parents like $50 per video to send in these videos so they can publicly shame these parents, essentially. It's this website called Offsides.
I will say this, though. The amount of friends and the amount of positives.
Oh yes, and see, absolutely. And I don't want to get too far down that road because absolutely, and it's why we're here because there are so many more upsides to youth sports and what the parents put into it, what all the volunteers put into it. I just this conversation, the start of this conversation just reminded me when you mentioned Amanda, it reminded me just of that, because it is a problem, and they are, the leagues are adjusting in terms of how to deal with these parents and how to educate the parents ahead of time.
You literally have to have committees on your boards to deal with parents in difficult situations. But Amanda is the proud donor of our soccer scarf, but her
great people.
Her and Danielle are two people we met because of our youth sports involvement, and they're two great friends, and it's so that part of it is real positive.
I mean, what I saw tonight is so impressed with just the organization and just the coaches, and how much they care, and all the volunteers. It was. I'm excited. I was a little nervous getting into it because of past experiences, but coaching soccer here was amazing. And I'm looking forward to this. Basketball is much more my wheelhouse than soccer is.
For Dan LaBelle, though, the president of youth basketball in his second year, it's good to have this out. How much this guy? I mean, as a travel director, as a favor to Dan. I mean, this is the amount of texts and emails and calls I'm getting, and he's times 100. But the amount of work that they put in to try to make sure it's fair and level is incredible, and people have no clue. I had a parent reach out to me last week, and she was very happy with the conversation. And I said, hey, it'd be great if you came and helped.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she was like, putting my time where my mouth is, and I'm like, perfect. And it wasn't a bad conversation, but it was, we don't have enough help.
I've seen it. So I've seen I've seen both sides of it,
Yep.
and I've seen the positives, and I've seen I've seen the offside side of it. And by the way, Greg Santos, it is a great Facebook page, and it's a Facebook page, not a website. It's a Facebook page. But and Greg, I'm not telling you what I rated your kid. So Jake's a great kid. Jake's a kid who started the bake sale fundraiser.
Oh, cool.
And raised money for Teddy Brewski's.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the House Street.
House Street, exact. Great kid.
Awesome.
Great kid. Derek Windsor saying, "Hey, coach." I'm assuming another person that you coached.
No, actually, Derek, I just met through school, and he's a big hockey guy. Does a ton of volunteering. His wife's a teacher at the Marsh, and great kids, and he puts a lot of time in himself. And is a fireman in Methuen.
Awesome. First time we've seen you on the comments, so welcome, Derek. Glad to have you. Appreciate you tuning in here. And please say hey to Jake. I think it was awesome seeing the kids, and I've seen some leagues now. I'm not new to this grading system, but I've seen some leagues where the coaches hoard all of their grades, and here everybody turns in their grades at the end,
Yep.
and they come up with a cumulative grade, so everybody's kind of got the same intel.
And that's for the guy or the mom that goes into it, and not intentionally, but I want to go pick 8 or 10 of my kids' friends.
Yeah.
And then end up with a 0-15 record, and everyone's miserable, doesn't want to play anymore. So
Right.
the league actually forces you to say, okay, these 15 kids were rated as ones, top 15. You have to take one of those kids.
Yep.
That way they keep the teams balanced, so nobody's taking a team that
Smart.
they have which they have to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Or the other side of it, you get somebody who's just taking all stars, and so that balances out.
And once again, I apologize for the 5 years in a row that I coached against Jamie Blaisdell over there, and his team never beat my team that I coached. No, Jamie was actually on my team a couple of times. Same with Caleb.
Matt, Naya, and so they're in the lobby.
Jamie, can you go down and get Matt?
Go down to the lobby,
Mr.
Jamie,
Toomey
for us.
and Naya.
So Naya and Matt are here. Awesome. Let's get into it because it's a fascinating topic. We could do a whole show just on
But we've got a 4-0 football
the ups and
team.
downs. Well, we've got a 4-1 football team.
4-1. Good
Sorry
call.
about that.
Good call.
But atop the MVC once again, huge game. Tell me about the Andover game. I mean, we saw the comeback. Again, if you didn't see MVC Gridiron Weekly, Rangers came back once again. The Cardiac Kids came back from a 14-0 deficit to win 20-17.
Correct score.
20-17. One Connor Bryant once again, and this time rebounded from a
rough second quarter again.
Second quarter. Now? Hector was questioning this. 3 picks to Tommy Duncan?
Yes.
Okay, so because he was questioning my statistics.
Same with Lowell. There was a kid, Villanueva, who played the free safety,
Yep.
and for one over the top when there's a free safety hanging back there makes it a little bit difficult. So they made their adjustments and started throwing short, and clearly they kind of erased that issue.
Did you see MVC Gridiron Weekly, by the way?
I did.
Did you see all 22 Lou?
He that was some impressive.
Did you see that?
That was some impressive comment.
Breaking down the play with Wes Correa.
Yeah, that was good.
It was like Hector and I sit here like
I actually
rough.
rewound it and listened to it
Right?
2 more times. It was impressive.
and he was dead on.
But he knows his stuff.
He was dead on.
He knows his stuff.
He is the 5-tool prospect. He's just doing this producing thing, but then he writes about fantasy football. I think he could coach football just going on how he described that play.
No, absolutely.
And it was spot on too. I'm like listening to it and I'm like, all 22 Lou.
Well, I told you the thought process. I was thinking to myself, EJ is going to have words for somebody for West getting behind
Yes.
the secondary.
Yeah.
And then I tried to figure out why, and they were only cover 1. And I don't know why that was the call there, but they were only cover 1, and the cover 1 went to the slot receiver right before the snap. I don't know if Connor saw it and targeted right from there.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They did. If you watch the film of it, because the play's kind of all over there.
Yeah.
Multiple people, coaches and players, were like,
Yeah.
before the ball was even thrown.
Because
and
the safety,
even Connor kind of hopped his step a little bit.
the safety tipped his hand
Right
before
away.
the snap.
Correct.
So,
I hate to be this guy, okay? I don't like to suck up to you on air, but I mean, you can't teach the kind of throws he's making.
Right.
Brian Del Sole had just said it. Connor throws the best deep ball in the MVC. I haven't seen better. And I haven't seen Central yet. Who we'll see on Friday. But of all the teams that I've seen, and I've been to some games outside of Methuen, I haven't seen a better deep ball.
and I don't know if Connor talked to you about it. But
Jay Conley throws us a good deep ball.
I was going to say there's some really
there are
good,
some really good
there's some
quarterbacks.
really good quarterbacks. I'm not going to take anything away from Connor because he's putting a ton of time and he's working his butt off. And
Jay's the Tewksbury quarterback, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Connor was in a tough spot there because he had to wait for the route to mature, but the safety was recovering.
Correct.
So the window was closing. You know, he couldn't get rid of it too early, and he couldn't get rid of it too late.
And and right there, the fact that he could wait is code for.
I mean, that's
Aaron Surth, right? McKinnon, Fitzy,
the whole line.
Ferrulo, all these guys that just all night long were battling. So you asked me about
and
the
making
game.
corrections too.
Right.
Making
Right.
corrections in play to
Right.
give him more time. I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the line that should go on there is this is a fantastic football team that everybody
Yeah.
continues to step up and make their play. When
Team.
Jamie, Blaisdell is putting the team in a potential of getting a sack, making plays all night, causing fumbles. Caleb's ripping in his first touchdown of his varsity career
Yep.
as a junior.
Yep.
Probably the best blocking game that I've seen Ricky Brutus do. He's getting a ton of yards, but he was putting out a bunch of blocks and just a lot of people stepping up.
And I love the synergy of this too, Bill. Like, because on MVC Gridiron Weekly, Wes specifically shouted out Jamie, and now we've got Jamie in studio. It's great. This is why this is a lot of fun. And Derek Yepsley, it's a very fun team to watch. Central's. I mean, this is obviously a rivalry. Unlike any other. It's even in the worst years, it's we're playing for everything. But now you're talking about an MVC title on the line here.
Right.
And you're talking about a team. You're talking about a team coming into Nicholson who's outscored their opponent, who is coming into their own. They played they've had a really. We talk about strength of schedule. They've had a good schedule. They had some tough games to start. They've outscored their opponents 73-14 the last two games. Young team, as Hector called it. They're going to get better as the season goes on. They're gonna find who they are, just like Methuen, and. I mean, it's going to be a great game. Bill. Unfortunately, it's going to be another. I mean, I don't know how you're doing it. Like, I can't imagine you. This is the third straight
Four.
last second. I mean, it's
was it Lowell, Haverhill, Andover all last second? So this will be the fourth.
No, okay, so this would be the fourth. Yeah, okay.
This upcoming game will be the fourth. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Pam Bryant, fun to watch if you like having a heart attack every week. I mean, cardiac kids. I mean, they are challenging. They are. I won't say they're the Craig Kimbrell of football, but because Craig Kimbrell is just frustrating to watch.
So I say we get these guys in here and start asking.
Let's do it. Absolutely. So, give us our lineup here, Bill.
So we have Jamie Blaisdell, who's a senior. He could talk a little bit about it, but he took some time off of football and definitely hit the weight room. So he'll come in and talk about what he's been up to. And Caleb Adamas is a junior and played a ton of pup honor and took a little bit of time off from some things, and now he's back and he's doing. Yeah, may have seen this
Coach Ryan
matchup before.
And Coach Ryan says this should be the fifth challenge, because even though it was a loss,
right.
Tewksbury was
that's what
yeah. So you're absolutely right. So all right, and then we've got Coach Matt Toomey and Nia Mazzone from the volleyball team. So let's take a quick break, get the guests in here, and nice.
Bill still has
the Al shirt on.
How did you not get the Al shirt?
Phenomenal.
No, how do you not get it? You know, one of our sponsors, great place, and both of these guys frequent there quite often.
We'll talk about them after we get back. Bring in our guests right after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care. All right, a big shout out to the folks over at AFC Urgent Care. They've been big supporters of us since the beginning as the title sponsor of Ranger Nation Radio, and we are big fans of theirs. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitches, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza. 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. I love talking about my man Val Davila. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now right-in-place insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. Need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, or visit them online at daviladefusco.com.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact institution for details.
Tickets, popcorn, and sodas. That'll be $35. Cash or debit?
Debit! I mean, I'd like to use my debit card, please. Can I do it?
Okay.
All right. Swiping now.
What if paying with your debit card was always this exciting? Kasasa Cashback is a free checking account that pays you for everyday debit card purchases every month you qualify. Plus, with ATM withdrawal fee refunds nationwide, that's a lot of extra cash to spend on whatever you like.
Ask for Kasasa at the Savings Bank. Visit tsbawake24.com. Member FDIC, member DIF.
Back here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Want to tell you about the shirt that Bill's wearing. Bill, what's that shirt all about?
This is Al's Diner right up the road here in Merrimack Street, celebrating their 25 years of just serving the community and serving great breakfast. And we're not going to talk about the cornbread this week. We're kind of over.
We're over the cornbread? I'm not over the cornbread.
We're not. I'm joking, but I just wanted to bring it up one more time.
Yeah.
No, but their food is just...
I actually am trying to put in a mass order on the cornbread for Friday.
Now, you guys go to Al's, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite meal when you get there?
An omelet.
An omelet? What kind of omelet? Because mine's cheese and sausage.
Anything with, like, steak.
Steak?
Yeah.
Nice.
I usually get pancakes.
Pancakes?
Yeah, the pancakes. Nice.
Pull that mic a little closer for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jamie Blaisdell, number 44.
I'm Caleb Thomas, number 18.
Both number 1 on our hearts, and the parents' hearts is who's Jesse?
My sister.
Your sister already on Jamie. I'm doing it in the Farrah Kanan voice. Connor!
Home watching it on the big screen. They figured out how to put Facebook on our big screen TV.
Did you on Xbox Live or on what?
I'm not sure how they do it.
Okay, yeah, that's.
But Eddie
that's the
McKinnon
best.
Nice. Started that last show. He had his feet up and he was watching us on the big screen, and
nice.
I think it's catching on.
Shout out to Eddie
Just what
McKinnon
you and
again.
I need is our mugs right on the big screen.
Bring it. You know, extreme close up. All right, gentlemen. So, I know Pam's gonna ask it, so I'll just get it out front. Could we get ahead in the second quarter this week?
Yeah, we're gonna try our hardest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the term of the week second quarter? Just you don't have to give it away. I don't want to give away classified information inside the locker room, but
winning would be nice.
Winning.
I like that, Caleb. That's good.
Absolutely. Tell us
but we are here to talk about Andover. So
yes.
Talk a little bit about that. I mean, one of the things that I've heard is that freshman quarterback and all that for Andover, but they were a tough group of kids. They had a ton of seniors, and their defense,
their D line was Big boys.
They were big boys.
Yeah.
Big boys.
The rumor was they hit pretty dang hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You would back that up?
Oh yeah. I was in there.
Now, at any point did you get up and did you have to be like, good hit? Good
Oh
hit.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
that's just what comes with football. Yeah.
absolutely.
To give credit.
You got to give the love.
So Jamie, early in the first quarter, you kind of hit the quarterback in the end zone. The safety was overruled by the referees that were in position. Unfortunately, how did you respond to when you think you got a safety, you make the sack in the end zone, but they pull it out, and how do you recover from that?
To me and a lot of other people, it was a safety, but you just gotta get back to the game and finish out and do what you gotta do to win it. That's it.
Okay.
Caleb, you have been rising in terms of just your presence in the offense. What was this like to get your first touchdown?
It felt great. Like, obviously, like everybody wants to score, but it felt good. I would like to do it again.
Go through the play a little bit, because you were kind of wide open.
Yeah.
You made a nice block. You screened out there and wide open. What was going on as the ball was in the air?
So as the ball was in the air, I was running. I saw the ball. I was like, all right, don't drop it. Pre-play, I was like, all right, I'm not dropping it. But
when you're that wide open, does it freak you out even more? Does the ball get smaller?
Yeah. I made a great catch. I've been practicing like all off season. I've been working hard, but I've worked hard for that moment.
Yeah, you definitely deserve it. And then Wes has to go and one up you in terms of the first touchdown.
Yeah,
with catching the game winner.
Yeah. My senior
That's
year,
not a teammate.
first touchdown. Game winning. Yeah, you're not topping that.
Yeah.
But we have talked about Jamie kind of all season, Tim, here and there, as far
Absolutely.
as just being all over the field, and you've been out of football for a little bit. How is it coming back your senior year and having such an impact on a team that's doing so well? Talk a little bit about that.
The last 2 years, I will be honest, I wasn't eligible, so I couldn't play. But senior year, in the summer, I was working out with him a lot, and at Latitude, a very good sports club, and I was working out with him, and we were just talking about football, and a lot of people kept telling me to come back, and then it just made me think, and I realized that I did miss it, and I wanted to give it a shot again. So I just came back, and I'm trying to make the best of it.
So listen, you don't have to qualify that, because honestly,
Coach is asking you to take the hood off.
Yeah, take it. I tell my kids. My dad always told me we're not defined by our success. We're defined by how we handle our mistakes, how we handle our failures, our missteps. You had a couple of missteps there, and you didn't stop. You didn't stop. You want. And a lot of kids in your situation would have said, senior year, I don't need to come back for this, and you fought to get back.
Yes.
What did you have to do just in terms of the classroom? What did you have to do to get those grades up?
Well, really, it's just I wasn't trying the last 2 years. I just kind of just said, forget it, and didn't really care about classrooms, or I would just goof off a lot. And then, like I said, I just wanted to do a 360 turnaround. And this year, a lot of coach's speeches I can relate to when he talks, because I look back and how he talks about people being a goofball or a punk. I can relate to that, because I used to be that. But now I'm just trying to do the right thing in every case scenario.
And being part of a pretty big family helps that, I bet.
Yeah.
And Bill's not lying. Every time that we talk to a Methuen player, any team we talk to, we always bring up who's the unsung heroes. Jamie, you're always among them. Caleb, you're always among them. So it's just great to have you guys in here. Just tell me in terms of, I have to believe. And Caleb, you can speak to this too, but I have to believe, just knowing these coaches, they didn't give up on you. They were pushing you. They were making sure that you kept fighting.
Yes.
Want to just say a little bit in terms of what that meant to you?
Honestly, when someone really cares about you like that, it will go through a lot just to see you do good. it's really a blessing to knowing that someone's behind you like that and has your back.
Absolutely.
It's kind of cool. I didn't know you guys worked out this summer, so
Yeah.
getting you both on the show and having that come out was pretty cool. Talk a little bit about this year. I know last year you played JV and you were battling to get your position. Now you're playing both ways. You're all over the field. How's that going for you?
Well, JV was actually my first year since B team.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened, what's going on with me, but I didn't play A team freshman, but I played my sophomore year, and I realized that like this is my sport. Like I don't know what I'm missing. Like that brought me happiness, and I came back my sophomore year wanting to change me. Like I was Caleb.
I remember you came up to me.
With you, yeah.
I remember you came up to me and said, "Coach, I'm coming back. I miss it, and I want to play." And I was pumped for you.
And then with hard work with all my boys, Kareem, Ricky, my boys, we just worked all off season, and now we're here, working hard, trying to win.
Big game for this Friday against
Huge,
Central.
Huge game.
What does it mean specifically? You guys both have unique stories in terms of coming back into it. What does it mean to be part of this team? It's fun to watch. It's just having been on teams like this. It's got to be amazing to be part of. Like, you guys don't seem to read your press clippings, which is awesome. But you don't. You never give up,
No.
and you can't, as much as Bill's the coach here. I've done some coaching too, and I know you can't coach that. You can't coach that resolve to not give up on yourself, not to give up on each other in the most crucial of moments. What does that feel like to not only to have had that low against Tewksbury in terms of the scoreboard, but then come back these last 3 games the way you have in 3 hugely different situations, but all great comebacks?
Well, I go by saying I'll do anything for my family. And on the field, every single one of those kids out there that has a jersey on, the coaches, every staff member, I consider them my family, and I will do anything for them. And I'm pretty sure Caleb will, because he is like that too, and so is every other kid on that team.
What is it like for you to have now? The more that you have the success, the more you hear your name called, you're turning into a leader, and what, having come back into this now, what is that like for you to have missed it and now to be seen as a leader?
It's motivating, because when you don't play and you just see your friends playing football, it's like, dang, like I should be out there. Like, it's like I love football, but now coming back, working hard, now doing great things on the football field with my brothers, feels great.
So on Friday night, I know the answer to the question. You guys never thought you were going to lose. I get all that, yada, yada, yada. At what point, though, in the game, when you guys did something, were you like, here we go. Here's where the corner has been turned, and we're on our way back. What part of that for you?
My touchdown.
For you, was your touchdown?
The first score.
What about for you?
From there, I was like, let's go.
What about for you?
Honestly, when we came back after halftime, our defense was doing
you guys were playing great.
Yeah,
you really were.
We just kept shutting them down.
Yep.
There may have been some texts. I was not able to get to the game on Friday. There may have been some texts from Bill in terms of we're in this game. We're getting some not so positive calls against us. Boo! I don't like this.
He's exaggerating. I was not knocking the
did not text you.
No, I did not.
No, I'm sanitizing it. It was a little rougher.
Right. Yeah,
we weren't. The team wasn't capitalizing when they needed to capitalize, and that was the difference between the first half and the second half. The second half, you guys started to capitalize and limit the mistakes and less penalties, and boom, there you go. 20 points.
When you're not able to capitalize and you're on the road against a good team. Do you go into that locker room saying, "Okay, we're only down 14. We're only down 14. That's with this offense and the way we can click, this is doable."
In practice, we always go over situations like that. Beginning of the season, we always used to work on like tough moments, like with time, hurrying up to the ball, scoring, like everything. But going into the locker room down 14, we're just thinking, how do we get back into this game? What can we do to come out with a W? So halftime, we were out there with Dugan, just going over stuff, trying to get better. And at the end of the day, we came out with that W.
What do you, in terms of this rivalry, how do you guys keep? I gotta imagine it. Having been out of it, coming back, it probably means even more to you to be part of this, to be able to be part of it. But how do you keep those emotions in check coming through this week, homecoming week, all that's around that? How do you keep the emotions in check?
Honestly, it's just like every other game. It's on our minds, but that's what we focus on. And Coach always tells us to just relax, take it easy, and just chill and focus on what's before everything else, and that's the game.
So I'm going to ask you both the same question, and I'm looking for an answer from both of you. If I'm a student at Methuen High School and I haven't gone to a game yet, or I'm a football fan, I live in Methuen and I haven't gone to a game yet, why do I go this Friday night, even though it's for the MVC, it's the biggest game of the year for you guys? In your words, why should those people go to this game this Friday night and make this place be packed?
That game is going to be humongous. Like, everybody's going to that game. Like, everybody's looking at our schedule. Central, all right. Like, that's a must-see game. The fan experience, just the liveliness of the game, the little surrounding, little rivalry, but it'll be a great game.
Jamie?
Truthfully, I've had people from other towns already ask me about the game, and it's just, we would love it, anyone from Methuen, to come support your local team, because, I get told this all the time by teachers, staff, like, Ranger pride. That's what we ball out for on the field. Rangers, that's our home, that's our turf, that's our school, and we support you guys, we would love your support.
So basically what they're saying is come out Friday night, 7 o'clock, Methuen High against Central.
Get there at 6.
No, absolutely. Get there at 6. You have awesome group of cheerleaders that are just competitive as hell. You have a phenomenal band that's going to rock it. The Boosters halftime show is crazy. There's a 50-50 raffle, concession stands. We've got a chili taste-off. I'm hoping Tim shows up because I got 5 other people now bringing chili.
Oh, come on now. Really? There's 5?
5 other people. So you would be 6 if. What do
you mean?
If it shows up.
My only question is, how much should I bring? Should I bring 5 pounds? Should I bring 10 pounds? Should I bring one stock pot, 2 stock pots?
If there's leftover chili, you guys are going to have issues eating it?
No.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll go with 10.
So if there's extra chili, I think we have a team of 90 guys that could take care of it. So park in Myrna is very simple. You can park at the stadium or at the high school, the Timony. There's plenty of parking. There's multiple exits. Joel's telling you 10, and Ranger Chef Paul's making some as well. So he's pretty much already said everyone else is going for second place.
Ranger Chef Paul is the leader in the clubhouse. I can bring my low country chili cook-off first place certificate if you really need me to.
It's all gonna come down Friday night. We'll see who wins the chili cook-off. And don't forget, we also have Butter Bing's Pizza there, which is just phenomenal pizza, and all is gonna be good. But the focus will be on the football field. It's going to be a great game. A lot of Methuen kids at Central.
You guys know a lot of these kids. I was going to say that. And Joel mentioned in the comments earlier, you got 2 quarterbacks that played against each other in Pop Warner or played with each other. Jared Silverio and this Connor Bryant kid. How much have you guys been preparing for the 2 quarterback thing that they've been doing? No comment. I love that look.
That was awesome.
That was great. I
What are you
really
talking
can't
about?
say. I don't. We didn't see any tape.
All right, so we got a game on Friday night, right? Get
Yes.
there about 6 o'clock, get a seat, buckle in, because it's going to be a game from the first second
To the last.
to the last second.
Yes.
All right, last seconds here. Shout outs. We invited you in here. We really appreciate you coming in, and especially an hour later than we usually do this. Who do you want to give some love to in terms of who's supported you? And I obviously see a lot of folks, supporting both of you in the comments. But who do you want to give some shout outs to?
Honestly, a couple on my team. For offense, of course, the quarterback, because he plays.
Oh wow.
He's like.
That's-
Usually people would crack under pressure, but he just follows through every time and gets what needs to be done. And the
That's
offensive
just a
line.
suck up, Lou. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
know.
I know he's just a young man.
I
But
thought he said cornerback, right? What did he say?
He,
Quarterback.
he knows what he's doing.
knows where the bread's buttered.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
And the offensive line, because without them, nothing would be getting done. So
Caleb.
My mom. My mom's
Attaboy.
my number one supporter. I love her to death, and she'll do anything for me. I'll do anything for her. She's been a big role of this comeback.
Well played. Well, and you're okay. I know because your mom's on here, so she knows you love her. Any teachers that you guys want to give any shout outs to?
Miss Coleman. Miss Coleman, I love you.
Yeah.
That's a new teacher right there. We haven't heard Miss
love Miss
Coleman
Coleman.
before. That's good.
Nice.
My Spanish teacher.
Yeah. Good.
Always helping me with my Spanish.
Phenomenal.
a principal, Miss Hornby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's always had my back and would just go out of her way for me. And she's always believed in me. So.
Phenomenal.
And something cool, my first year in special ed was, she was a teacher there. So she was one of the first teachers I got to work with, and she was awesome then. And as a principal, it's fantastic.
She's great.
Fantastic
She's great.
to see her in that role.
Steve Saban says, listening to these two, you can see why they're winners. I couldn't agree more. You guys,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, very impressed with you guys just coming in here, the way you speak and the passion that you talk with. And, I mean, you see it on the field, but just to hear you guys in here, hear your stories, very inspirational. I don't, it's probably tough to know it in the fishbowl, but, we have a lot of kids in here who are the student athletes or this or that. The comeback stories, the fighting through adversity, it's every bit as important as any story we can tell in here, because that's what life is.
Caleb talking about his team being his family. This is why we put teams together and put kids on them to learn those lessons. Where else do you learn that lesson?
You learn the togetherness. You learn the discipline. You learn the fight for one another and who's worth fighting for. And
here's the best part: coming in right after these guys is a coach that puts a ton of time in at Methuen High School for volleyball, and Naya Mazzone, who is kind of that kid that pretty much any sport she plays, she's pretty darn good at, and she's one of those leaders, and we're excited to have her on next. And you guys know who she is, right?
Yes.
She's a heck of an athlete.
it's all right. Guys, great job. Pleasure
Pleasure to meet you.
Congratulations on everything you guys accomplished so far. Best of luck. We'll be there. We're looking forward to it. Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Catholic. Homecoming. MVC title online. Be there, folks. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Absolutely. Stay right here for 1 sec. Take a quick break here on Ranger Nation Radio. Come right back with our next guest, as Bill mentioned, Matt Toomey and Naim Zone.
Agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact institution for details.
Tickets, popcorn, and sodas. That'll be $35. Cash or debit?
Debit! I mean, I'd like to use my debit card, please. Can I do it?
Okay.
All right. Swiping now.
What if paying with your debit card was always this exciting? Kasasa Cashback is a free checking account that pays you for everyday debit card purchases every month you qualify. Plus, with ATM withdrawal fee refunds nationwide, that's a lot of extra cash to spend on whatever you like.
Ask for Kasasa at the Savings Bank. Visit tsbawake24.com. Member FDIC, member DIF.
All right, a big shout out to the folks over at AFC Urgent Care. They've been big supporters of us since the beginning as the title sponsor of Ranger Nation Radio, and we are big fans of theirs. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. You'll never need an appointment. Got that persistent cough and cold, that cut that needs a few stitches, or need a sports physical and don't want to wait weeks to get into your primary doctor? AFC's streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen, in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street. In North Andover as well, in the Burton Grill Plaza. 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. I love talking about my man Val Davila. It's a dream to own your own business, and Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but now Right in Place Insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. Need auto insurance, renters, commercial, or home? Davila and DeFusco prides itself in having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-241-7950 for a free quote, or visit them online at daviladefusco.com. Back on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care. 2 quick shout-outs. Want to thank Jennifer Canan, the realtor. Buying or selling, you got to go through Jennifer Canan. She's one of the best in the Merrimack Valley. Whether you're looking in Massachusetts, looking in New Hampshire, talk to Jennifer Canan at Century 21 Northeast Luxury Homes and Estates, I believe. They will hook you up with a great house and a great deal if you're selling. She will find you the best deal. So talk to our friend Jennifer Canan, huge supporter of Ranger Nation Radio, and one of the best realtors in the Merrimack Valley. And then also, we mentioned Bada Bing's, but Bada Bing's. They whether you're looking for pizza, you're looking for calzones, you're looking for sandwiches, what
the big nights for them: Monday nights football, Thursday night football, Sunday football. They're just packed. But it's
But I mean, they're there for Ranger football too. They provide the pizza. They're going to be at Methuen Day on Saturday, giving away pizza.
Outside permit there as well, so people go
perhaps some beer. Yeah,
potentially some beer.
Yep. So I mean, again, you talk about supporters of Ranger Nation, Bada Bing's, John, the whole crew over there.
Tanya.
I can't forget Tanya.
John would admit this. Tanya kind of runs the place.
Tanya's the boss. So huge shout out to Bada Bing on Hampshire Street in Methuen. Check them out at, I think, badabingmenu.com. Yeah.
Yep.
.net.com. You see it in the banner. Okay, to our guests. How are you guys tonight? Nia Mazzone, Matt Toomey, Coach. How are you?
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. Again, later edition tonight, so we appreciate you adjusting your schedules. How goes it?
It's going. We've had a lot of ups and downs this year.
Yeah.
But coming off of the season we had last year and the what we lost. I think to be where we are right now is good. We've definitely put ourselves in a position to try to get back to the state tournament this year. I don't think it's impossible for us. I think this team has a lot of potential, a lot of talent. I don't think they've fully reached their potential yet. We just have to find a way to bring that out. And
it's coming out in spurts, right?
Yeah. We seem to have 1 or 2 games that are really good, and then we'll take a step backwards. Kind of refocus a practice, come out and have another 2 or 3 games that are good, and then kind of have a step backwards. I think it's just different for the girls this year. Last year it was a lot of players that played the supporting cast now have to step up and be the stars. And sometimes we're really good at it, and other times, we just need to work a little bit harder. But, the girls, they practice hard. They're probably the hardest working team in the MVC. I don't think many teams practice as hard as we do, So that definitely helps.
And transferring that into a life skill is pretty cool as a coach who's, really shaping these high school girls and into young women to have them work this hard. And it's...
Yeah, I definitely talk to the girls about that a lot, is that, Naya will tell you that she's heard me talk about the fact that, the lessons that we learn at practice, the lessons that we learn in games, they're not just volleyball lessons. They're just, trying to make us better people, trying to show us how we can persevere, just in life through anything, it really is, more than just volleyball for us, and more than just the coaching aspect of it. I'm pretty close with my team. We spend a lot of time together. Every year, I'm pretty close with the teams that I have, and if we're going to spend 4 months together, you kind of have to be. I don't want to just walk in and out of the gym and that's it. I spend some time getting to know them, what their family lives are like, what their schools, what school's like for them, and we kind of go from there. So.
Now you were a star among stars on last year's volleyball team. You were a leader on a softball team that, as much as the playoff streak was there, it was a young team that kind of had to find themselves throughout the season. Now you kind of find yourself in that position as a leader on the volleyball team. How is this in terms of kind of being that player coach on the court with this team?
Well, we have 4 captains, and I feel like we all just bring something different. Like, if it was just one of us, like, it wouldn't work. Like, all 4 of us just bring something so different to, like, the team.
Who are the other captains?
Kaylee Mullen, Kayla Albee, and Jillian McCoy.
Awesome. Just get the shout-outs out
there.
So, how's your senior year going? Did it go by?
Yeah, it's going. It's going by fast already.
What, in terms of what you 4... Tell me what you 4 bring different to the table, how it all kind of works together in terms of the captains.
Like, based on, like, how we speak, like, I'm a little more quiet than, like, other people. So, like, Jillian, who's a lot more vocal than, like, some of us.
I'd never noticed.
Yeah, she'll be the one to, like, get the team together, like, to speak. Like, well, I'll speak, but, like, she's just more vocal about the way she approaches it. And, like, Kaylee and, like, Kayla and, like, all of us, we'll talk to them, but, like, sometimes we just will lead by example more than, like, our voices.
I need to be in probably the 3rd row to hear you sometimes, whereas I could probably be just coming into the field house and hearing Jillian times.
Yeah, Naya's definitely one of my more quiet players, but she's a phenomenal leader as far as what she does when she's out on the court. She's one of the most gifted athletes I've ever had the chance to coach. She's made it, even her freshman and sophomore year, she made it really hard for me to bring her along slowly and kind of keep her, on the sidelines a little bit, especially her sophomore year. So it's good to see her getting the recognition that she deserves. She's got college coaches looking at her. She's got, people stepping up and taking notice at just how good she really is. Tremendous passer, great defender, and probably one of the hardest hitters in the MVC.
Now, you're right over here, so people want to see who you are. Look right over here. That's the camera for you. So, talk about the season a little bit. Like, I know you talked about, just there's some ups and downs, but for you personally, how are you working? I know last year was my first volleyball game, and I'll tell you right now, I've gone to a couple this year, and it's
the game we called.
Yeah. Learning what a libero was. That was a learning
fun
experience, but awesome to watch. The game itself is just very, very exciting. So talk a little about the season and some of the strengths of the team, and if someone came out to watch the game, what would they expect from your team?
It's just completely different than last year was. Like, it's just a whole new dynamic, and we've been trying to figure ourselves out because, like, we have players from last year, and, like, we just have a bunch of new people on our team that we had to, like, fit into everything and, like, get to figure out what works for us. And, like, I think we've just been slowly going along with it. Like he said, like, we've been taking a step forward and a step back, and I think we just need to bring it all together. Because, like, some people will have, like, off games, and, like, with this team, like, we can't have off games. Everyone has to be, like, on point that game for it to us to reach our full potential.
Let me ask both of you just
well
in terms
said.
of, yeah, absolutely. What is it like in terms of just, you have had a number of different types of teams, you've played on a number of different types of teams. how do you? What's it? I mean, what's it like in terms of learning where to push as a teammate, learning where to just to lead by example, learning where you need to kind of be a little bit more emotional, and coach with you just learning the different types of buttons to push with different teams.
Yeah, I think every year it's a little bit different. You got to look at the group collectively to see what we have coming back. What their personalities are like. And I think a lot of that comes from getting to know them as well as I do. I know that. I can push Naya in certain ways that I might not be able to push other players. But for us, I think the biggest thing is just trying to gel as a group, but also know what is working best, which I think sometimes we've had a little bit of trouble with. We try the harder approach, and it hasn't worked well all the time. We try the softer approach, it hasn't worked well all the time. So they're just very different dynamic from year to year. I'm fully aware that, the girls play other sports and their other coaches are not like me, and I'm not like their other coaches. I love multi-sport athletes. I think it's great for them to have that balance between different types of coaches. I try to be very fair with them, but I think, Naya would tell you, I'm tough on them when I need to be tough on them,
Yeah, I've been to a game or two.
Yeah. I get pretty animated on the sidelines.
Yeah.
How about you, just in terms of learning how to lead among different team situations?
It's just been so different. Like, we just take it game by game and see what happens.
How about any freshmen, any younger kids that are stepping up this year that you want to give a little shout out to, or someone that's kind of surprised you guys as a player that's kind of going down that path of being a heck of an athlete?
Yeah, I think definitely on the varsity team, Emily Spina and Erin Smith have shown really well at times. They're both softball players. I often joke with Coach Urbino that we should just make signs that say volleyball, it's what softball players do with their fall, because we have just a ton of softball players in our program. And Emily Spina and Erin Smith have shown well, both very athletic, have come in and made big plays at different times. And I think they're both going to be very good players for us down the line.
Fantastic.
In terms of just where, how's the grades, by the way?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, A's and B's.
Excellent, because the coaches are certainly looking at that.
Yeah.
Where do you see this team's potential at as we get into the season?
I feel like it could be far more than what it is right now or what we have shown. Like, we're right here and we could be up here, but we just haven't gotten to that point yet. And, like, the season's, like, starting to come down, and, like, we don't have a lot of games left, and we just have to reach that point. And we just have to figure it out for ourselves, because he's done everything that he could for us, like changing things in practice, figuring out what works for us. But I think we just need to figure it out for ourselves.
Now, who's doing the adjusting here? Are the hitters adjusting to the setters, or the setters adjusting to the hitters?
I think we're all adjusting. Like, it's such a team sport. Like, you can't set without passing, and you can't hit without setting. So, like, it's just continuous cycle.
We talk about it all the time, that volleyball is one of the ultimate team sports. If all six of us are pulling our weight out there and I'm pulling my weight on the sidelines, we're poised to have a pretty good game. If, one or two of us aren't pulling our weight out there, it's hard for a team to overcome that. It really needs to be six players playing together all the time. And that's one of the things that we have, somewhat struggled to do this year, is just kind of gel all together and put together that one great game. We're still waiting for that one great game. We've got to find, we've got to find 4 out of our next 7. So we're still, still looking for it.
I imagine you're fairly partial to this statement, but she covered a lot of different sports, and even the volleyball neophyte who's watching or covering it for the first time will tell you that it's a sport unlike any other in terms of surviving the runs. Like the emotion, the power, the adrenaline that goes into close quarters, and the scoring, the runs that can happen. Surviving those is I guess one of the biggest things you got to teach a young team, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of our problems this year is we haven't carried momentum really well. We'll come out and the first time around we played Andover, we lost the first 2 games. They were close. We beat them the third game, and beat them pretty well. And we had momentum on our side, and we just gave it right back. And volleyball is a game where when you get that momentum on your side, you really need to keep it because it goes really fast. And sometimes in volleyball, when it's gone, it's almost impossible to get it back. So we've got to carry momentum a little bit better than we do right now. But I think that's definitely part of a learning curve. We have, what do we have, 8 seniors now, 7 seniors? But we have 15 girls on the team, and we have a lot of young girls too. So we're trying to mix in, girls who are starting for the first time, girls who are playing different roles than they did last year, with a lot of the young talent. So those momentum shifts are going to come, and it's not to be unexpected. We just have to do a better job of carrying it once we finally do get the momentum going in games.
So this is what I want to see. Follow in the steps of the football team. Reach back to us and let us know that you won your last couple of games on the 5th set, the last the last shot, and do the the 40-second last touchdown, last point would be pretty nice. But at the end of the day, the teams that work the hardest tend to get the results at the end of the season. And I think that's something that you guys continue to hold your hat on.
In terms of shout-outs, who do you want to shout out in terms of family, friends, teachers?
Obviously, him and my family, and Smith and Bino and Garibaldi, because he still supports me even though everything.
Now, who's that?
Coach Garibaldi.
Coach, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
Now,
can I cut you off real quick, Coach?
Sure.
Great segue, though. I just want to get this in. The unified basketball team played today. I don't know if you guys saw them when you were catching the bus. They ended up losing to Andover today, 43-41. But just seeing the pictures, the team is twice the size as it was last year, and the fans are packed. And I know you guys really supported that team last year. You were at most of the home games and everything. But unified basketball is kicked off, and from softball to volleyball, all of the Ranger Nation sport teams are tweeting out that they did a great job today, and they'll continue to play their game this season. But when we talked a little bit about hoops, I wanted to give them a shout out. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, we don't want to you're married, so you probably want to shout out the wife.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's tough. I coach 2 sports seasons. Girls volleyball in the fall and boys in the spring. We have 2 young boys. We've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And my wife, she pulls a lot of weight at home. And we're not around a lot.
And it's a phenomenal teacher at the high school.
Yeah, and wintertime is my time to kind of give her a little bit of a break. But yeah, it's definitely my family. My dad too. My dad was a longtime coach in town. He was the Pony League coach for a while. He was the Legion coach for a while, playing baseball. And a lot of things that I learned coaching-wise came from him. And my high school volleyball coach, Mark Blanchett, was just a phenomenal coach. And what I learned from him in 1 year of playing at Methuen High, I was able to take that to college and play in college. So it was impressive.
And shout out to Al Golubsky. We named one of our divisions in our Loop Weekly Fantasy Football. We named it the Mario Pag. I don't want to get the wrong name. Pagnozzi. Pagnoni, and then the Golubsky division. So
the bocce guy.
That is the bocce guy. Yeah. So his legend lives on.
Yeah, it's definitely been a rough. It was a rough summer.
Yeah.
And he was Methuen Ranger true and true. He still the leading point scorer in a single game, 53 points before the advent of a 3-point line. So that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
You got a little hardware last year, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was Boston Globe Division I Coach of the Year, and that's really all because of these guys. They just come out and they work so hard.
I think you said it correctly earlier before we gave you accolades. The 6 kids on the court have to do their job just as much as you do. So as much as it was them, someone also had to lead them. So I appreciate you kind of pushing that off. But coaching at that level, that's an impressive award. And congrats. I know we was hoping to get you.
Could win it every year, but I'm glad you.
Right.
Absolutely.
So when's the next home game?
Next home game is Friday. against North Andover. Tough opponent. North Andover's having a great season. Kind of up and down lately. So maybe we catch them on the downswing. But either way, we're gonna practice hard tomorrow, and we're gonna go into the game, expecting to win on Friday and put our best foot forward, and hopefully we can come out on top and get ourselves a little bit closer to getting back to the tournament.
5:30.
4:30 JV start, 5:30 afterwards. Generally about that. Yep.
Start your homecoming night right there.
So I will say this: Sandra Harris, one of the parents, I believe, of one of the players, has been huge this year with the boosters. She's been running the concession out of the field house, so making a little bit of money for the boosters off of that. Sandra's going to be there. It's going to be open, so get down to the high school, watch some volleyball, and then get your tail over to the high school stadium and watch some football. But definitely get down to the court. I was at the Drake game, and you guys swept freshman JV and varsity, and I kind of forgot how exciting the games are, and you guys have a great packed gym. You have a lot of parents that show up, and the kids that are in the high school that are still there at that time are going and supporting you. So get there and watch this team play.
Huge shout out to Naya, to Coach Matt for coming in tonight. We're in a little overtime situation. We gotta get Lou out of here. Long commute home to the new house. So huge shout out to Lou for allowing us to do this an hour later tonight. And to Jamie Blaisdell, to Caleb Adamas.
Correct.
And to all our commenters tonight. Great night of commenting. We had a lot of folks in here tonight, so we didn't get to all the comments tonight, but big shout out to you guys. We will be back at this. We hopefully talking about a victorious homecoming weekend with Ranger Nation. Get out to volleyball Friday. Get to the football game. You got the open house on Saturday. You got Methuen Day.
Come down to Al's Diner at 8:30, 9 o'clock
we'll be there.
Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
We'll be there prepping for the MVC show and show your love for the show by supporting our sponsors and the people. Go to Bada Bing and grab a slice and a drink or a soda if you're underage. And
I should just stay there and Skype in. Why drive down the street?
I'm still trying to stay
at L's on Saturday. Yeah,
right. That's a good idea.
We'd have to get Hector there. So
Hector would never show up.
Yeah, the guy who's been in the valley for 53 years, we'd never find us. All right, so big thank you to everybody tonight. And as Bill said, please tune in Saturday morning 10 a.m. for the next edition of MVC Gridiron Weekly, and come back next week. Check us out here. We'll be back at the 7:10 start time next week here on Ranger Nation Radio. Check out all the shows on demand on loopweekly.com and on the Loop Weekly Facebook page. You can see it on Twitter and YouTube as well. And listen, just keep supporting Ranger Nation. Keep supporting what these student athletes are doing. Great examples in here week in, week out. Just a pleasure to talk to. And great to watch. Get out to Nicholson. Get out to the field house.
I thought that was Al Delino walking through the door for a second. I got nervous. I thought it was Al Delino.
The white whale. He's here in spirit always. The physical presence. It's going to be tough. We'll keep working it. All right. For Lou, for Bill, I'm Tim. And we will talk to you next week here on Ranger Nation Radio, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Have a great week, everybody.
Naya Mazone, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.